Today on the Euro Truck Podcast, Overwatch is $40, World of Warcraft Legion releases next fall, and Bob Ross is returning to Twitch. Hello and welcome to the Coffee Hour with Andrew C.
And Jefferson B.
And death.
Death?
I don't know. Mike doesn't drink coffee, so...
I feel like death.
This is what you get for pulling an all-nighter playing Fallout 4.
Yeah, playing Fallout 4 till 5 in the morning.
You played till 5 in the morning?
Has that effect.
Man, I'm glad I jumped out of that live stream when I did. Yikes. No gracias. Yeah. Granted, I didn't really have much today. All my job has me work evenings, so all I had was the evening shift today, but still, it's one of those things. I like my mornings.
I like sleeping.
I too enjoy sleeping. I enjoy coffee more, though.
So I even had coffee.
Okay, so I had that peppermint mocha that you were talking about from Starbucks.
Mm-hmm.
Changed my life.
The peppermint white chocolate mocha frap?
No, just the regular mocha hot coffee because it's kind of cool down here today. Peppermint mocha changed my life.
You only had half the experience.
Oh really? There's another part to this experience. I don't know if I could do a cold drink. I feel like we're exiting cold drink season.
Do they not have the white chocolate option?
It's probably one of those things you'd ask. You'd have to ask them. It would be one of those things you'd have to try out. Right. But this is not a coffee podcast. This is a gaming podcast, last I checked. Speaking of staying up till 5 a.m., the Fallout 4 release. Uber Shadow, what's the final word on how things went with everything?
It's pretty.
How pretty is it?
Super pretty.
You heard it here first.
You heard it here first. It is super
and actually,
pretty.
I mean, I can attest to that. It did look really good. That computer build, totally worth the money to be able to see that game at that resolution. So yeah, and this actually broke one of the records for non-Valve games to be for concurrent users playing all at once. And it actually hit a peak of 445,000 players today.
Wow.
With today being Tuesday release day of the game.
Yes.
So yeah, that's many, and certain people on this podcast, when we were talking about Fallout 4 and the fact that it hadn't been delayed, were saying that there would most certainly be a game release day breaking bug that would just murder the game, and it hasn't happened yet.
Oh well, they did have a patch this morning.
There was a patch, but having watched the game get played for 6 hours or more, or 4.5 hours or whatever, there was a couple little like graphical things where I was kind of like, why'd that happen? But, and I'm sure those are the kinds of things that got fixed. But it overall, like, the game wasn't crashing every 5 minutes. Opening the Steam overlay didn't crash the whole game. You know?
That's radically impressive. Because opening the Steam overlay is just certain death in a lot of situations.
So, but seems all right. We'll find out in the next couple of weeks whether it really is doing well from a game quality standpoint. Gotcha.
Well, that's good to hear. That's very good to hear that it's something that is. I'm not personally familiar with the Fallout universe, but I'm glad to hear that this game seems to be doing really well, and the hype is so real that it's actually living up to it. So that's good to hear. But now, speaking of everything not related to Bethesda Studios, okay, so I'm looking at my show notes here. We have so much Blizzard news, which is good because BlizzCon is just wrapping up, so we have all of this great content,
including one that something that's kind of surprised most people. We've been talking about Overwatch for a while and how there wasn't any information about it, and Blizzard never came out and said how much it was going to cost or what it was going to cost, and the community kind of took that to mean that it was going to be free to play. Right,
which I mean, most great FPSs that are on PC
have gone that way.
Free to play. Sure, Team Fortress 2 went free to play way back in the day. Like there's many a solid game that people play that they're free to play, and everybody loves it.
And so they did
here that this is not the case.
It's not going to be a free game. It's for just the standard edition of the game that with 21 heroes that's $40. for that game. There's two other levels of the game that you can purchase. The Origins Edition, which is $60. It comes with 5 skins, Mercury Wings for Diablo 3, some in-game portraits in StarCraft 2. It's a pet for WoW, a hero in Heroes of the Storm.
So it's only useful if you play all Blizzard games.
Yes, yeah, pretty much. And then there's a physical collector's edition for $130, which comes with a source book, the soundtrack, a statue of Soldier 76, and all of the Origins edition. So
again, only really useful if you are a Blizzard superfan, which some
right.
people are, and I mean, more power to them.
Exactly. Yeah,
I guess I get that, but $40 for a 21 hero first-person shooter.
That they're not even sure currently how more heroes are getting shoved in the game.
That's a hard sell.
It is a hard
and
sell.
I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, okay, I can justify maybe $20. I could
Right.
justify, maybe make me pull like a League of Legends where I either use an in-game currency or I purchase an out-of-game currency.
Right.
I get that. I'm not sure. I can't justify it, and that's kind of disappointing to me because you know me from the beginning of when Heroes of the Storm, from when Overwatch was first debuted, when Blizzard was first teasing about this game last year. Like, that was something I was very much a fan of. But now I'm looking at it, I don't know if I can get behind it.
Yeah.
And that's really upsetting
that's,
to this gamer right here.
Scared off by the cost there a little bit.
Yeah, and especially as a poor college student, that's not accessible.
Yeah.
Like, this is not going to turn into another Heroes of the Dorm, which is really unfortunate. And as an esport, it has such great potential.
Right.
Really taking the MMO FPS to its next incarnation, but that paywall is just going to fry us.
Yep. Even if it was significantly different and more worth playing than TF2 is free, and I already own it.
Exactly.
Like, so even before it went free, I owned it. So. And
you want to talk about content? I could play Destiny for the same price, and actually get more out of it than just some unknown with 21 potential heroes, a third of which I might only play because, like, I don't like playing snipers, so I'm not going to use the sniper characters. That's just my personal prerogative here, and so that's the part where I'm frustrated.
Yep.
But
that game's going to come out somewhere either on or before June 21st, 2016. I would add on, before, or after.
Yeah. Maybe it'll change.
Like, all of Blizzard's release dates that they gave were that kind of structure, and I was like, on or before? You really going to release it before that?
I don't know.
Kind of doubt that.
That's that's kind of an obscure. Now, okay, is there anything significant going down on June 21st? Because that just seems kind of obscure to me.
No, but all of these seem to be on the 21st. It's the 21st of a month.
Maybe it's is that when the quarter changes?
Could be. That's just the season changes, isn't it?
June 21st? I think June 21st is the longest day of the year, but
something like that. Anyway.
I don't know.
But the other thing that's happening, Blizzard-related, Heroes of the Storm is getting a two-headed ogre champion hero thing that you actually since it has two heads, you play it as with two different players. So, like, you control different parts of it independently from each other. So, like, I might interact with one portion of the hero, and then Jeff, you might interact with a different part, but we have to work together to actually accomplish
I can see that.
something.
That's unique. That's something new.
And the
release earth-shattering.
The release system is also unique. You can't purchase that hero. The only way you get that hero is by being in a game that it's being played in, and then everyone who is in that team gets the hero.
So you have to see it used.
Right.
And then you can use it.
Then you can use it.
So it's going to spread. What is it? It's a 5v5. So it's going to start with 9 other players getting it from whenever one of the devs is the source, is patient 0.
Exactly.
And it's just going to have to spread kind of organically. That's weird. I don't know. I mean, it's definitely it makes me go, huh? Makes me ponder. Makes me think. Makes me prod my noggin. But we'll see.
Yeah,
We'll
that'll
see.
be interesting. They are also updating.
Storm, but I'm interested in it nevertheless.
Right. They're also updating the matchmaking system because apparently the current matchmaking system in Heroes of the Storm is essentially the StarCraft 2 matchmaking system, And
Okay.
the StarCraft 2 matchmaking system is built for speed,
Yeah.
not for quality of
Mhm.
match. So I guess they're having problems with getting quality games when you're just kind of going, oh, here's the first 5 people, shove them into a game.
Right. Even though they might not all be all the same level, they might not all be well suited for one another, and I am on my side.
Oh, way to go. Way to go there, Captain.
Thanks,
So
Captain.
that's Tears of the Storm. World of Warcraft Legion is the next expansion for WoW, and we talked about this before. It's going to be the Return of the Burning Legion. It's got a new continent, the Broken Isles. It's going to come with new dungeons, new raids, bump the level cap to 110, as well as it comes out with the new Demon Hunter class, which we now know starts at level 98. We weren't sure, Freelance wasn't sure where that would end up being and how that would affect, which is a little bummer that he's not here because he's got the sniffles and is sick. So he's not
Poor
didn't join
Freelance.
us.
Got the
But
sniffles.
I'm sure we'll be able to get more information about that in the
We'll
future.
probably talk about it more next week.
And they're also adjusting how content scales a little bit. The way that most of the areas in World of Warcraft work is it's very linear. So you go from here to there to there to there, and the content scales as you go from point A to point B to point C. The problem with that is it requires everyone take the same path.
Hey, there you are.
And so... Oh,
You're stuck.
I am
You
stuck.
knackered it.
I'm
You have knackered it.
I am stuck.
Hold on, you're moving ever so slowly. Hold on, hold on. Ramming! Go, 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 go! Hey, I made it.
Whew, wow, man. I don't know what I'm stuck on.
I have no. I probably just some very loose traction dirt.
Must have been.
Anyway.
Have been. But the way that they're going to have content scale now is instead of going from A to B to C and then it's scaling that way, A to B to D to F to G. It all doesn't really matter what order you do it in now. It'll be based on your level, your character level. So if you're at the level cap, all of the monsters and whatnot are going to be at basically at your combat level.
That's really nice, actually. As a avid MMO player, to be able to always have a challenge where I don't have to just stay in my area for grinding purposes, that's really nice. Because if I really like the starting area, I can stay in the starting area.
Right.
And if I have a buddy that's like, hey, let's go hang out in this particular part of the world, we can go hang out in that particular part of the world, and everything's going to work.
Mm-hmm.
So provided that everything works on the back end, I can see the front end being a very welcome upgrade.
Yep. So, and definitely makes it a little easier for the end game of the expansions. So, and that's expected to release on or before September 1st, 2016.
Or after.
Or
Wait.
probably after.
2016. Wow. They're talking about it this far out.
Yep. Well, I mean,
alrighty then.
they brought it up at what's the con that's in
BlizzCon?
No, the one that's in June. Was the one in June.
E3.
E3. They talked about it at E3
Wow.
originally. And that's where we got into that whole discussion about why are we hyping games that are so far away.
That is really rough. I don't know how I feel about that.
So that is a thing.
So away from Blizzard.
Yeah, that is the end of the Blizzard section of bar news.
Yay. Because as somebody who's not a diehard Blizzard fan,
Yeah,
really welcome.
unfortunately, that's what happens when BlizzCon happens.
yeah, just everybody becomes a
It's
Blizzard
just all
fan.
Blizzard all the time.
Well, alrighty then.
So we talked previously about Humble monthly bundles, where you would it's very much a subscription boxing service where you pay $12 a month and they give you some quantity of things. In this case, it's 7 games, and you have to purchase the bundle subscription before they tell you what the games are, so you don't know what they are until you get the bundle.
Which makes me sad.
The things that ended up being in the November bundle were Saints Row 4, Besiege, Valkyrie Chronicles, Lethal Legend, Sanctuary RPG, Towerfall Ascension, League of Grimrock 2. You know, some decent, pretty good titles that all are worth more than $12 combined.
Andy, I believe that's Legend of Grimrock. But yeah, games like Valkyria Chronicles are wonderful. It's such a joy to play Valkyria Chronicles as a game, and it you know, things like Saints Row 4, Besiege, Sanctuary RPG looked fantastic. Legend of Grimrock 1 was just a pleasant dungeon crawler, if such a term ever existed. And the fact that I cannot purchase these games for $12 is unfortunate. But thankfully, I actually picked up the regular Humble Weekly Bundle, the Day of the Devs, just at the lowest tier because I purchased Hack and Slash. I gave away my extra license of Costume Quest, so sorry, we can't do a giveaway. And then I also got Lumino City, which is gorgeous, and I love Hack and Slash. I think it's a beautiful little teaching people. It's a good little edutainment game, if that's a word, which it is now, because I just made it that way. But it's all about hacking and coding and how you break into things, but in a pleasant little fantasy RPG setting. And then Lumino City is just like, it's just origami and just face melting gorgeous. So yeah, that's what I've been playing this week. It's a lot of that. But we're passing by some pretty happy little trees here, even though it's absolute nighttime. Speaking of happy little trees, Bob Ross is returning back to Twitch. Because if you just couldn't get enough Bob Ross, you got more. Which I like Bob Ross. I think he's cool. I think he's just kind of one of those magical painters that I could sit and watch him and drink a cup of tea for a couple hours. Be very content with my life. Seriously. I mean, Bob Ross is just so relaxing. Like I could nap to that man. Like, set him up right next to me as I'm in a hammock. Please and thank you.
That'd be interesting. And so, that is returning. It's going to be every Monday night from 6 p.m. to 12:30 a.m. Eastern time.
That's so interesting.
So there'll be. I don't understand why it goes to 12:30.
It might be because somebody looked at it and said, "Hey, we need to fill 13 episodes."
That's possible.
I love how they're also going to be running the full Joy of Painting marathon. So is that all 8.5 days?
I think so.
Like starting on his birthday. So it is an overwhelming amount of voluntary Bob Ross watching, which I think is really cool because if I want, like, in the vein of classic television, which I mean we were all raised on, like, I can just tune in at a specific time and watch Bob Ross, and I get that social TV watching experience.
Right.
Of kind of what I think has risen to, like, it's a cult classic now. People love watching the joy of painting. I don't know why. There's just something very, very meditative about it. Speaking of creative things.
Oh dear.
Oh no! Dude, I'm at 100%. Why you gotta be like that? So our last thing of news is the Steam Machine launch sale, which, okay, so my brother is almost convincing me that a Steam Machine is a good idea. I'm still not sure I agree with him, but I do agree with the fact that Valve is giving us cheaper games.
Right. We don't need to talk too much in depth about the fact that Steam Machines are an awful idea, because we've been over this on the podcast. Episode 56.
Something around there.
So I believe that's the one that I would check. I'd check 56 for information about why the Steam Machine is probably not something you should buy. You could buy a much better computer for the money, but it's definitely a good excuse to slap some low prices on some games. We're talking things like Bastion, BioShock Infinite, Broforce, Borderlands 2, and the pre-sequel are all things that are on sale. It's not the entire library like a normal Steam sale, but it's a good chunk of games that are decent. Serious Sam is in there as one of the games on sale.
It is a lovely smattering of arcade games that you could play on a Steam Machine, or just play on Steam in big picture mode.
or on your regular computer monitor.
In big picture.
They could care less
Really
how
could.
you play it.
Or get a
Just
Steam
as long
link
as you fork
and just,
over the money.
just play it on your local network by streaming. That actually might be the better option if you really, really want the couch experience.
Yes, absolutely. Buy a Steam Link.
You know,
Please do not buy
just buy a Steam Link, save yourself the money,
Yeah.
and then use the money that you saved to
buy
buy a
all
better
the
PC and like a 5 gig and like a gigabit router.
Oh dear. Oh man. All bad things.
Were mistakes made?
Minor mistakes were made. I did not roll, so
Hey,
That's a
but
good thing.
on that roll-saving bombshell,
hope you enjoyed watching this episode of the Coffee Hour with Andrew C. Jefferson being Dr. Ubershadow and the sick freelance who will hopefully return next week and not be sick anymore.
he's having the chicken soup hour.
Yes, he is having the chicken soup hour, which is unfortunate because I dislike soup.
That's sad. That's sad.
But if you like this video, make sure you hit that like button. Feel free to also comment down below if you dislike soup. And or if you like soup, tell me the soup you like. I do like a good broccoli and cheddar soup. I'm fine with that.
That is just plain weird.
That is a delicious soup right there.
Whatever.
But this is not a soup podcast either, so we will see you next week.